Hi, good. I'm good. How's your week? Okay. This week I had cut. Oh. Maybe see.
Okay, what are we doing today?
Is it discussion post due today? Like
Is this for EC?
the 30th. This is
Standardized test is typically like a test. The Japanese use exactly the same procedures to all test takers.
I think when I answered about the standardized test, I kind of didn't get everything. Because yesterday in class she kind of mentioned more about what these are. It's kind of the ACT, SAT also too. But I just was thinking the computer test as a whole, not everything, including those kind of tests. So I might need to add more.
Please briefly elaborate on two advantages of standardized tests. Please briefly elaborate on two advantages of featuring most probably find yourself explaining exercise based on what you do.
I think for my answers, the first part I might need to change in the third one.
Okay.
But the second one I might be okay.
Standardized test eliminated. Okay. Gonna try to find how many for type of test and where's the one?
That's it. This is what
Do you want to read it out loud?
One advantage of standardized tests is how fast they can be graded, since they're mainly graded by the computer instead of the teacher. A disadvantage of teacher-made tests is that they are often graded by the teacher, which can be time-consuming. The second advantage of standardized tests is that since all of the questions are the same for each student, teachers can compare the results to determine what students already know and what needs to be taught or revealed. Teachers can then use the results from the standardized tests to create their future lessons and tests in the class. These are the scripts.
Yeah, so these are elaborate two advantages for standardized and content. Okay.
I think I might need to include about the ECT and the
So, yeah. Disadvantage versus all questions are the same for each. Teachers can compare the results. They can also explain them. One is the only one to the teacher brings the test is based on exactly what said the learning classroom. The teacher is going to any trying to do any lesson. So like that's You haven't answered three?
I answered.
Three?
This is 3.
I see the one for three.
This
Okay, probably find yourself utilizing both types of tests and the type of different tests as well as your own teacher needs based on what you did. Some standardized tests are mandated. Outline try to define how you use what type of testing not very number student effort. Specifically grade level grades, secondly. Let's see the work. You wanna read it out loud?
Okay. Standardized tests will be administered throughout the school year, and teachers will receive the scores from the previous year in advance. This first standardized test of the school year can also help teachers understand how well students are learning and what additional information might need to be taught to the students. Although standardized tests can be helpful in teaching kindergarten, they also present some challenges. One challenge is that when students take the standardized test, they must start early in the morning and they are required to finish within the time frame, which is usually between 2 and 3 days. Because not all students are present on the test day, some students will need to take the test on a different day. Taking these tests on a later day can cause a delay in the grading of the standardized tests. This can affect student learning in the classroom because the students who didn't take the test when it was originally given will miss the instruction rest of the class is given.
What's the next one?
I don't think I kind of answered this. Did I? Even though
Yeah.
it just sound like I answered this part. How I
No,
would
I don't think. I think maybe you answered it in the end, but I don't think.
because I think I gave a challenge for both tests.
So it was like I'm gonna try to define how you use both types of testing and answering.
This about the standardized and this the it doesn't right. It seems like there's not answer that part. Yeah.
Trying to identify like how it's been answered.
It did say I need to choose a grade, kindergarten to second
Yeah.
grade.
How you use both types of testing. Yeah, maybe you can talk about how you would resolve those
I think
challenges.
that part I didn't answer. That part. Maybe the second part I need to answer too.
You want to read the second part?
In contrast, the advantage of administrating teacher-made tests is that they can be given at any time of the day during almost any week of the school year. Teacher-made tests are written in a way that allows students to showcase to their teacher if they learn from the lesson. For example, if the class is learning about parts of plants, the test the teacher gives students can include activities related to plants, the life cycle of the plant, and how to grow a plant from a seed. One challenge in administrating teacher-made tests is that it takes time to both create and grade the test, since it will cover topics students are currently learning in the classroom. The teacher-made test has many parts, and grading is more difficult compared to the standardized test because the test has not been created to be taken on the computer. Instead, grading is based on how well students have understood the material that they have covered in the class. The teacher will grade the test they have created, and since there are no computer assistance as there is with standardized tests, This grading can be very time consuming. Yeah, it seems that I didn't answer that.
Yeah, that's so good. And also, I feel like what you mentioned about thinking like the standardized base test is just a base test.
Yeah, the essay and
Mhm.
ACT part. I think I need to add there too. Um, to like give it a little more.
So what would you add, taking into consideration ACT then?
That part is in paper, even though it would be graded by a machine, not by a human. Um, uh, I'm not really sure, like, for that, how I would really say that. Even though it would be kind of like graded the same way.
I guess.
That's the computer one in some ways. That part I'm not really sure how I word it.
Because I feel like an ACT test is a major example of a standardized test. Like I don't think there's anything like it is computer graded. It is the same questions that have been given to everybody.
Most times.
Times, yeah.
It's just maybe they get a different format of that test,
So different what do you mean
like
by
a
that?
different version, so that they, even though they might be like sitting close to, not close, but like next to somebody,
They can't.
can't really cheat. They some maybe give them a version A or a B, kind of like that. It's kind of similar, but different questions that maybe order.
So we know that we have to work on like introducing solutions to challenges. Um,
That part I did not answer.
so let's briefly elaborate on two advantages of the standard.
I'm not sure is that part okay. I think this one I would add more here, to add the ACT, SAT course.
I don't think this sentence is needed here because they're talking about the advantage of standardized tests.
Take that part out.
Yeah, and we don't need like the disadvantages of teacher made tests. Yeah, so how far we can grade it and really grade by the computer. Maybe you need to talk more about this before we get into the second advantage.
Okay.
Yeah. So tell us what you mean by it can be graded since it may be graded by the computer. Or just add something to the sentence about, I don't know, making it a good and time time managing option for testing. I don't know, just highlighting. Tell us more about why you think it's an advantage. Like, so what does being fast do?
What so-called, like the fast part is like so-called they take the test and then like within like a few days they get their results.
You can just add that to it. So just like we can do take with just one sentence.
Something's missing.
What do you think is missing?
I'm not sure what. It seems that there's something missing.
What do you mean?
Does it seem okay?
Advantages and license and how fast they can be graded. They can be graded by the computer. So secret. After taking the standard test, results to be provided to students within. Do you mean after the sentence of
Or something? Like, does it seem like?
after the sentence is correct, the beginning. Results be provided to students within a few days. You want to say instead of will be provided, say are typically provided within a few days.
Typically?
Yeah, are typically. Are typically. Sessions are typically provided to students within a few days. I'm not taking a standard test, so I think a comma comes after this. No, it doesn't. Yeah, after taking a standard test, the results are typically provided to students within a few days. The second advantage of standardized, the only advantage of standardized tests is how fast they can be graded, since they're mainly graded by the computer instead of the teacher. After taking a standardized test, the results are typically provided. After taking them, the results are typically provided to students within a few days. So you mean like this is like very, very abrupt? Like it feels like it's a very abrupt change. Is that what you mean? Like
Yeah. I think that's what.
Mm-hmm. I
Just a second.
do you feel like you need something to like link the two paragraphs together, or what? Or the two ideas together?
Because this is kind of like connected in some ways about the results. I'm not what really connected.
One advantage of sunrise test is that since all the questions are the same for each student, this can compare the results to determine what students are in honestly. This can then use of understanding type of to create a future content. What do you think we can?
Because it seems even though it is kind of connected with the result part, I'm not sure what would be like a good
Like a link and
to transition is into the second advantage, even though they're kind of like similar in the idea of the result.
Institutional statistics provided to students within the student of the question. Compare. So what the idea I have in mind is to take out the second advantage of standardized tests is that so instead of having that when the sentence ends that are typically provided to students within a few days, since all of the questions are the same for each student, teachers can compare the results. Does that make sense?
Just take that part out.
you want to read it to yourself, and then you can now say at the end of it, this is another advantage.
And,
So you can read the entire paragraph and try to listen to yourself.
mm, yeah. But like, where would I put the part of like this is the second?
You can put it at the end.
Here. What?
This is like at the end of the paragraph. You just feel like this is another advantage of standardized test. I'm just giving a sample. If you don't like it, you can. Or you can just say.
Um. Would it be here?
You want to put it there? Okay, let's see.
What there sounds strange.
Where? This sounds strange.
I think like that part, that wording, in some ways.
Which one?
The about that would be at the end, kind of.
Yeah. So wait, do you want to put it back at the beginning?
Even though it's so called disconnected, the way if I would in the beginning, the way
It flows. What do you mean?
we don't know where that part can go. Like the wording, second advantage.
Oh. So are you okay with this part? Like the.
I think the first two sentences seems okay.
The first two.
It's just that that phrase. I'm not sure where it really
Needs to be.
to make sure it's everything flows and makes sense.
The other questions are the same for each student. Teachers can compare the result. Determine what students are already know and what needs to be reviewed. 2% of advantage. Or teachers can then. One advantage of standardized tests is how fast they can be graded. Since they are mainly graded by the computer instead of the teacher. After taking the standardized test, the results are typically provided to students within a few days. As all of the questions are the same for each student, teachers can compare the results to determine what students already know and what needs to be taught or reviewed.
Or maybe the wordings and maybe another advantage.
Oh, okay, you can do that.
Instead of second, another. And then move that there, maybe that makes sense. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Do you want to read it to yourself?
Another advantage of standardized tests. Instead of maybe add a comma.
I'm not going to the standardized test. I don't think that works that way.
No.
Because it sounds nice when you say, but no.
That part, yes, but not the word.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's like How are you going to link this? Do you want to say that another advantage of standardized tests is that since all of the questions
Mm, Repeat that.
generated data,
And then I think it sounds a bit better.
sounded better.
Yeah.
Want to read the entire paragraph?
One advantage of standardized tests is how fast they can be graded since they're mainly graded by the computer instead of the teacher. After taking the standardized test, the results are typically provided to students within a few days. Another advantage of standardized tests is that since all of the questions are the same for each student, teachers can compare the results to determine what students already know and what needs to be taught or reviewed. Teachers can then use the results from the standardized tests to create their future lessons and tests in the classroom.
Okay.
I think so.
So, okay.
Yeah, I think this sounds okay.
Okay. The second one, I will not the advantage that teacher may test is that test is based on exactly what students have learned in the classroom. The second advantage is that they are designed to provide specific feedback to individual students.
I think for those is I'm not sure this is that second sentence after repeating what I just said.
The second sentence repeating what you said in the first
With
sentence.
the advantage part is this second one repeating what's here. Because it seems like it.
Is based on exactly what students have learned in the classroom. The teaching methods can be given to students at any time throughout the lesson. And I think this second sentence emphasizes what time it can be given, which the first sentence doesn't say anything about. So I don't think it's repeating.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just the solving the problem. That's, I gave the challenge for that part, the result.
Outline how you use what type. Because the question says, okay, well, so this is how you would use teacher made test.
Yeah, that second one, and then that's the standardized one. So but I don't think I gave the how I solved the problem.
So you will use things like, so this is like an example on how, because it says like how you will use both types of tests and enhanced learning. So I feel like, so because you don't say specific, for example, in this first one,
It sounds like I didn't answer the problem solve how to solve the challenge part. It seems like I didn't answer that, but I gave the challenge.
okay,
And how would I
how would you want?
answer that part of solving the challenge?
So, or that's the part you want to work on, right?
Yeah, I'm not like I got the challenge, but I'm not how to.
You don't know how to solve it?
I mean, not how like the what would I really
Right?
Yeah, that's for
Yeah. I feel like you can do like a research on like how to solve like or if you think about it, how the challenge is that
What I have said for that one is that the kids not coming to school and then they're not able to learn what's supposed to be taught instead because they'll be taking the test. I'm not sure how you saw that, but you can't like
you must start with
have like this that
that
this is what I was
the personal students are present on test day, some students take the test on a different day. Taking is like a cousin in grading or the standardized test. This can affect
because I can't like you know
students in the classroom because some students take the test are ordinary given allowance the instruction and the rest of the class.
or what I changed it
I think so because if you say that
because I can't if I solve this I can't bring the kid to have the kid come to school even though they miss school. That won't this part I think.
so and even like how you mentioned like the cost of delay.
Yeah, that part that is kind of still continuation of the challenge in some way.
Yeah, I don't think I feel like this is a challenge of standardized tests
Okay. So what?
because
Yeah.
even teachers-based tests could have the same challenge.
Mm-hmm.
And you already said at the beginning that the advantage of standardized tests is that it is fast and it does
Mm-hmm.
not provide any homework. So
Then would I change the challenge? But I don't. I'm not sure what really would be it.
think of like any stories you've heard about like people writing like ATS, AST. How does that?
I think most of the time is like the timing. Because some would be slow readers to like really read through everything, and then even though each section is timed and stuff, they take the time reading, and then they for some of those there was so-called mark where you stop and then that's your grade for that section. You can't continue.
So that's like a
Maybe
challenge.
that's the challenge for that one.
That could be a challenge for some people.
Like, well, what would it be like? Because that so-called would affect the grade because they're not able to finish the whole section and then like they're stopped at a certain point. What would it be? What would like what is it?
It's just a timing problem.
The timing?
I feel like a lot of like standardized tests lately, they give like really enough time for some sections, but you could also just if I haven't taken like an ATS or any of those tests, so I don't know how much time. So maybe here's what you could do like one of the challenges is that some sections are not given enough time causing students to not work on all of their work and supposed to do leading to um low grades. And the solution you could give is that more time should be given to some sections.
Um, mm,
Because you have to give a solution. You can't just identify the challenge, you can't provide a solution.
um, because I think for the time part, I know that the ones that have IEPs or 504, they for sure will get extra time. And then if you don't have those, you don't really get extra time. So would that so the timing?
No, I'm just you could like think about that
Because I think that for sure would be one of them. I'm not sure what would be really other ones for that. I don't. This computer and like the paper format test. Timing for sure.
So are all standardized tests done on a computer?
Not for yesterday in class she had mentioned about those the SAT, ACT. Those are paper.
Those are paper.
Yeah, with the number two pencil, and then you would get those math and those other subjects in there. So it's many sections in that, and there's different timing.
I think it's less about timing. So could you like tell me what ways this is different from teacher made tests? Would you tell me, like speak to me, what ways, apart from like computer based tests, in what ways are standardized tests different from teacher made tests?
I think because the other one can be different kind of tests.
What do you mean?
Like an exit ticket, it would be considered kind of like that teacher made test too.
What?
Exit ticket, or because that one also have different sections, but it's not really timed.
Some teachers can give you time.
To like yeah, but not fully. Each section you get time for that's different. Um, yeah, not really sure then for the challenge.
Yeah, because I needed, if you're able to highlight like differences, you would be able to highlight, you'll be able to clearly see what the challenge is. So if you can highlight like two, three differences between the two types of tests,
There is similarities for sure.
what's the differences?
The differences is kind of hard to
Yeah.
really.
Do you think that the tests that are given to that are made by the teachers, they could differ in types of questions that are being given to each student, and they are catered to what are the needs of each student?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So and also the kind of so even if they give like same yeah, so some teachers I remember when I was a teacher, there's some people I wouldn't give the same kind of test to
Mm-hmm.
just because I just feel like they may not be able to understand or handle or they don't have the right kind of foundation, even though they're in the same class.
Mm-hmm.
So I would give them a different question. So could it be that standardized tests put those people, those kind of people at a disadvantage?
With those types of questions.
Questions because some questions are not catered to some people with specific needs.
Mm-hmm.
For example, some students would prefer to, some students would prefer to answer questions. I was talking to someone yesterday and he was saying that if he was going to give tests or like any of those things, they would they would not let the students know that they were doing a test. Or for example, for me, I don't get exams or tests in my class.
Mm-hmm.
We do like homework, lots of assignments, and that helps me learn. So if I have to do a standardized test, I may struggle with like standardized tests. I'm just giving you like ideas so that you could.
Yeah. Mm. Yeah, maybe I need to do a little research about that from that one too. But does what I have right now kind of for the teacher made test seems okay? Or like would I change? Like that challenge.
Personally, to the teacher if they learn from the lesson. For example, there's in class learning about plants, teacher gives them the teacher gives students no test the teacher gives students can include activities related to plants, the life cycle of the plant, how to grow a plant from a seed. One challenging and administering teacher made tests is that it takes time to both create and grade the test. Since it will cover topics students are currently learning in the classroom, the since it will cover topics students are learning. Teacher made test has many parts, and grading is more difficult compared to standardized tests. Tests have not been graded to check on the computer. Instead, grading is based on how well students want to material for the class. The teacher will grade the test if we get that since there is no teacher assistant parents. But since we already agreed now that not all standardized tests are done on computers, maybe that part of like Because some teacher-based tests could be graded with the computer too. So you could say it's time-consuming, maybe because the question might be different for each student. Mm. Yeah, right. Just as students creating a classroom teacher should ensure student needs on a specific curriculum or classroom. They are flexible, aligned with local needs, and can include various types of question types like multiple choice. Unlike standardized tests, their primary purpose is to evaluate student progress in a particular class and to help the teacher evaluate their own teaching method. So the primary purpose is to evaluate student progress in a particular class, tailors the material taught in the classroom, making them a direct progression, and include a variation of question types, often less formal and can be administered more frequently. And did you like do research like this? So like you can like I feel like when you do read up on like how different it is, you get more ideas on what kind of talent it is. The creator, classroom teacher, determined versus standardized. Create classroom teacher, texting experts. Aligning local curriculum, aligning broader national state standards. Less flexible and including mix of types, often standardized and multiple choice. Reliability, lower dates, rigorous development. Mm. Administration varies based on classroom content, like you mentioned, can be taken at any time. Strict controlled conditions with clear instructions, classroom achievement and teaching evaluation. Um, so let's see. Teaching needs versus standardized. Teacher tests are created by teachers in specific classrooms, offering flexibility and immediate feedback. Leave me alone. No. We can measure tests. The test appropriate and relevant to the fair. Constructing a good teacher test is very difficult and time consuming. Some people see, so for example, a disadvantage of teacher made test. Even the making of a good teacher made test is very difficult and time consuming for the teacher themselves. Um, teacher made tests do not carry the same importance as standardized tests in public relations between the school and community. Wow. Teacher made tests are often subject to question because they differ greatly from class to class. Let's try to see disadvantages of you have to watch the card. So this is one for disadvantages of standardized tests. What they can measure and count are isolated skills, specific fact and function, content knowledge, the least interesting. In practice, they have led to some limitations, reliance on multiple choice items, limit the depth at which a test can prep for student understanding and thinking. Standardized forms of format and protocol allows for lead to individual variation, communication, and cross-treatment. I hope this helps. I hope it's not more confusing. I'm just trying to get you to just try to think deeper and yeah, so standardized tests cannot measure creativity, imagination, conceptual thinking, curiosity. And also I feel like standardized tests, they perform a particular purpose. They are not used to like measure how smart or how much progress the child is making in the classroom.
Even though it's taken most throughout the school year.
Yeah, it's taken at the end. But like you know how like teacher made tests would like you mentioned, it would let the teacher know how good they are doing and how much progress the child is making. You cannot use a standardized test to measure how much progress the child is making in the classroom, how much they know. I have another appointment now. Maybe let's try when you get home, you can try to do more research on like the differences and get more understanding on what the concepts truly mean. And then you can able to
This is the challenge part. I need a change for both.
let's see. So I have tried a visit note now. We met in person and worked on the discussion boards, sharing the answer, are in compliance. The captain version. So I wrote with my in person and worked on discussion posts and sharing the answers are in compliance with the form. Does that work for you? I have another appointment now.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.